What is going on, guys? My name is Lextasy and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for coming back. Today we're going to talk about my 2017 Nissan GTR and why I ended up purchasing another one after not being in one for over a year, and why, if you've even considered for a split second about purchasing a GTR, you should absolutely do it as soon as possible and keep it for as long as possible. So without further ado, guys, let's get this video going. So what is a Nissan GTR, or R35, or a Godzilla as it's known all over the world? And I'm sorry to say this, I mean, no disrespect by it, but if you don't know what a GTR is, you've probably been living under a rock for the last 20 years, or you've never seen the Fast and Furious movie. Totally joking, guys, but these specific Nissan R35 GTRs have been around since 2008. Look how beautiful this car is. This does not look like a Nissan. Literally, there is a reason why there's no many Nissan badges on this thing whatsoever, and it says GTR everywhere, because this right here since 2008 has been spanking a lot of cars on the road, and it's only a V6 twin turbo making 560 horsepower. You heard me right, 560 horsepower from a V6 since 2008. There's a reason why this thing is still not outdated whatsoever, and they've been putting a twin disc clutch in here since 2008. Nobody does a dual clutch system. I mean, yes, you got Ferraris and Lamborghinis that do it, but not like Nissans and, I don't know, Toyotas and anything else that really stands in the same kind of line of brands. But they've been killing the game for a very, very good reason. This is a street legal track car, guys. It legitimately can do so many good things, and it's so good at it. And I'm gonna say this and probably get a lot of hate for it, but in my opinion, this is a track car that they made street legal, and then they added all the accessories and, I guess, options and things like that to make it more of a comfortable drive every day. What I mean by that is, well, for anybody that hasn't been inside one, first off, please go drive one. I don't care if you go to a dealership to test drive or you ask your buddy to get a ride in it, but it literally feels like and drives like a race car. There's literally no options on it. Yes, they put heated seats in here, which was that afterthought for sure, but there's like barely Bluetooth, barely navigation, no Apple CarPlay, no sunroof, nothing like that. It's a very, very clanky ride, and I personally love it for that. That is the reason I'm backing one, because I miss the way this car drives. 560 horsepower stock. Now mine does have a few bolt-ons and a few little bit tweaks and work done with exhaust and stuff like that in the intake, so it does make about 532 the wheel, so closer to 600 at crank. It is such a monster. It is such an awesome all-wheel drive vehicle, and I personally missed everything about this car. I legitimately missed the way it drives, because nothing right now out there for the same budget of about $100,000 drives just as good. It makes you feel that way as if you're in a race car, and you should probably put a helmet on when you're driving, because it's an awesome feeling. It really is. It's like a go-kart, man. The way it handles, the way everything flexes whenever you take off is just an amazing feeling. So I figured, instead of us sitting there blabbering away why I picked up another car, why not just show you why I grabbed another GTR? And that's because, well, oh my God, it's a straight monster. Jeez, man, this thing is so much freaking fun. The performance numbers on this thing are out of the world. V6 twin turbo, 0 to 60 less than 3 seconds, 2.9 to be exact. That is the same level as Porsche 911 Turbo S, GT3s, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. Like, the status that this car is competing with and the brands that it's competing with, being a Nissan, is unfreaking believable. Now, a lot of you are gonna say, hey, Alex, we've been part of this channel for 2 years now. We've seen you having all the issues with your previous GTR. Why did you grab another one? And quite honestly, the first one I had, I'm just gonna be transparent, was, I guess you can say, just just like a bad batch from factory. It was a 2019 track edition, like 4,000 or 5,000 miles, pretty much brand new, but it was legitimately falling apart. When I picked this up, alignment was completely out of whack, where when I was driving, I was fighting the steering wheel to stay straight, and turns out one of the tie rods was loosening itself up during the driving. Like, legitimately, one of my wheels was just playing and doing whatever it wanted to. Finally had a recall, had that done after like 3 alignments, figured out what was wrong with it. Then my seat, my carbon fiber seat, was falling apart. Then my spoiler the brake light was not working. That spoiler was carbon fiber, and it was like $14,000 for a new one. Had that fixed. It was just constantly issues. Battery went out on. It was just always having problems. I don't know what the issue was, but I knew that's not a standard GTR. I knew that wasn't because the tuning with it. It was just a bad vehicle from factory. So whenever we had to get rid of it, we had to take it to Florida because we're having a third kid, and then, you know, as you can tell, there is no 3 seats in the back. And quite honestly, believe it or not, these 2 seats we used in our last GTR. 2 car seats fit in the back and a stroller fits in the trunk. Mind blown. I'm not even joking. We made that sucker work. We piled 2 kids in there and took a 4-hour trip to Atlanta for a GTR car meet, and then took 2 kids out of it and enjoyed our time. It's awesome. Like, the car left a really cool experience on me, and I knew that, like, in my heart, I had to get another one. I tried tracking the other one down. I checked the VIN on Carfax, and it was showing that it's like in California now, and quite honestly, I hope he's enjoying it and it'll last him a long time. Kind of sort of don't really want that one back. But I really truly love this car because it feels like a track car that is legal. It's like taking a GT2, GT3 RS and just being able to drive it daily, which they say they don't really recommend because your back is going to hurt. Same with this one, but the way everything clanks, like right now I have it in R mode for transmission and shifting. That's where you can hear it downshifting on its own. It's so cool. Like, that, no other car does that, man. Put it in sport mode in my Hellcat, let's say the Durango, that 1,000 horsepower, it downshifts, but it doesn't sound this way. Like, this is one of those last cars that is made that you're like, you want to drive with your windows down and no music at all. Just the sound and the tone of the exhaust sounds so freaking amazing. 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds stock. Once you start modifying this thing, you can get it well into the low 2s easily, and then 60 to 130 is just as good when it comes to upgrading things. And quite honestly, that's the second thing we could talk about, and that's the fact of how easy it is to modify these cars to make them really like stand out and really pull. Like right now, finally this dude got out of my way. Let's give it downshift, twin disc clutch. God, excuse my radar talking in the background. Look at that, just crisp shifts. This thing like knows 2 steps ahead of what you want to do, and I freaking love this car. So why am I personally telling you guys to grab a GTR? Whether it's a 2009 or a 2017 like this one is, when they body redesigned it and made it look a lot nicer, interior, exterior, same drivetrain though. By the way, transmission is in the rear. When I first picked this thing up, I was like, okay, clanking, really weird, probably something wrong with this thing. Took it to a GTR mechanic and they're like, bro, that is normal. The flywheel is always spinning in this car. Transmission is in the back. That's why you're hearing that clanking. I was like, time out, in the back? What do you mean? It's like, yeah, there's a drive shaft connecting the transmission and the motor, or the transfer case, whatever you want to call it. And I was like, that just blew my mind, man. That is a straight race car, and it's all done because of the 50-50 weight distribution and balance that they try to make, which is better for handling, because this is an all-wheel drive car. It's designed to be a track car, and it's freaking amazing on the roads. But why am I telling you pick this up? I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have already seen or noticed or experienced that if you're looking for a GTR, the prices are freaking skyrocketing through the roof. Here's what I mean by it. The track edition that I purchased before this one was a 2019, 7,000 miles, and I got it for $99,999, right? I bought it at a Nissan dealership right at $100,000. Track editions are extremely rare. They literally made less of those than the Nismos, which Nismo is like the Godzilla. That one has everything, like carbon fiber, weight reduction, everything is done to make it even more of a monster, and it's extremely rare. But the track edition, mine was like only 150 number out of like all the 10 years that they made them or whatever, so it was extremely low amount of production. Again, had 7,000 miles 2019. So I picked this one up about a month ago. It's a 2017 with 35,000 miles, so it's 2 years older, and I paid $100,000 for it. For a premium. Premium is considered like the base GTR that you can get because there is no options available. I paid the same money for this car as I did for a track edition 2 years ago. I was like, man, there's no way. I'm gonna easily pick up $80,000 2017 or a newer body style, not gonna be an issue. Started looking and realized, like, unless you want to get a 40,000-50,000 mile GTR, which you really don't, because their maintenance really starts getting expensive on these clutches and everything else, transmissions, I couldn't believe it. So I legitimately had to find this one, drive all the way to Gainesville, Georgia, where this GTR sat on their lot. I think they sat for about a month to 2 months or so. So the prices have been so crazy that most people are just picking up the older body styles now just to be able to afford them. So let's do a quick little launch on the road right now, guys. I got my Draggy connected. We're just going to go 0 to 60 as fast as possible. Stock tires, stock wheels, ready, set, and go. Okay, this thing's not working because we're in the mountains, but I would tell you, it's in the low 3s, man. Golly, this sucker gives you shivers, man. Jeez. So why am I telling you guys to get a GTR? Because, well, believe it or not, they're not making them anymore. They're done. Nissan announced that the GTRs are completely done with production. They don't make them. I don't know why. It's mind-boggling why somebody or anybody would ever do that, because this is such an amazing car. Like right now, I'm on these back roads that are twisty and very nice for what we're doing in an all-wheel drive car, which is just cruising down. God, this car. Oh, shut up. Freaking navigation yelling at me. It just handles these curves like a beauty, man. Goodness, like, it's unbelievable what this GTR can do, guys. And for some reason, Nissan decided they're just done. They're completely done making GTRs, R35s, Godzillas, one of the most perfect track-oriented all-wheel drive vehicles on the planet, in my very humble opinion. And why is this happening? Well, because Nissan, quite honestly, is focusing on just building a brand that's designed for eco-friendliness. And on top of that, they're getting really pressed down, just like all the other brands, when it comes to emissions and noise levels, believe it or not. Right now in Europe for 2022, they are done building GTRs early spring, which is now. And the reason for that, especially in Europe, is because, well, the noise level. There is a policy now that turns out these older GTRs, their levels of exhaust, I guess, is above standard or what they are expected to be making. So because of that, they can't create them anymore, or else they're going to face penalties, because now you can have too loud of an exhaust. Now these 2017s have a valve, exhaust valves, that, you know, work to really keep and reduce that noise level, but under full open throttle, they open completely and the car is screaming. There's a guy by the name of Shmee150 that had his Lamborghini STL stock factory exhaust. So he took his car to Nürburgring, which is like the ultimate track to really try to beat your lap times and show how amazing and performance-wise a vehicle is. Every brand goes there to really try to compete with each other and try to knock each other off for having the fastest lap, because there's so many ups and downs and so many technical things that are happening on that track. But anyways, he got kicked off the Nürburgring for having a stock Lamborghini STO on the track because his noise level was too high. In what universe is that even a thing? How is that possible? That explains why Mercedes, you know what a C63 is, right? You know what E63 is. That is like one of the most V8 twin turbo super torquey motors. I had an E63, I had an RS7, great vehicles, but now turns out C63s are going to be twin turbo 4 cylinders. 4 cylinders in what? Like, that's not even the same. Now, yes, granted, it's probably gonna have some sort of hybrid system that's gonna help it to be, you know, have all the torque and horsepower like previously, but it's not the same thing, man. It's like a Tesla. You know, you can show me a 2.4, 2 point whatever, 1.9 second Model S plates. That's cute, but you're not making any noise, man. That is the most anticlimactic vehicle that you can ever have, honestly. Like, I don't see myself ever having a Tesla ever, because they're just horrible. But anyways, I'm getting off topic because I'm just so like excited about having a GTR in my life again. So because they're cutting down production, because they're not making them anymore, clearly the values are going up. I just told you that, of what I paid for my car. And there's a local dealership here that just sold, I think it was a 2022 or the last production of one of the rare colors that they made. MSRP is like 120, 130. They sold it for $300,000 for a Nissan GTR. And that's not just them. Everybody's selling them for 200, 250, 300,000, depending what spec the color is and what the options that it came with. But it is unbelievable what's happened to the Nissan GTR market. And it's a V6 that's bringing so much money everywhere, because they're just it's such an awesome car. Like, I cannot describe this, guys. I can't like compliment it enough. I have the Durango Hellcat, you guys know about it. I'm building a V8 truck right now, F-150 to 1,000 horsepower, but when I get inside this, I don't drive it daily because I am trying to keep the miles low on it, and when I do drive it though, it gets driven, so maybe once or twice a week. I enjoy this car. I legitimately enjoy every minute of it, from the clanking, from not having any features, any options, from having a crappy sound system with a little sub in the center of it because they just had nowhere else to place it, so they threw it in between the two seats. I'm okay with it because I never even use my sound system. I listen to the motor, to how it sounds like a jet taking off whenever you launch this thing. That's what I enjoy. Like downshift, like twin disc clutch, and then when you mash it, it's unbelievable how amazing it sounds. Unbelievable. But what I really love about it, because when you downshift and get on it, she just goes, golly. But then there, I'm thrown into a corner, and I'm not even worried because it can literally pull over a G in every corner and you won't even flinch. Like, you feel so in control with these cars. It's just mind-boggling, guys. I know I'm like rambling and talking so much about a V6 twin turbo car. That's because this thing is on the level of a V8. It's on an exotic level, in my opinion, guys. And I've had all kinds of cars. Funny story, when I had a V8, after I traded the GTR in and sold it, I had a V8, I had a C7 Z06. But when I bought this GTR back, all my buddies that have GTRs sent me, literally almost all of them, like a welcome back with a smirk emoji, because they know from also experiencing cars, you just can't get away from this thing. You really can't. It's kind of like a brotherhood where when you have a GTR and you go to events, man, you're like, dude, we know what you got, man, and we know what this thing is capable of, and it's awesome, and welcome back. Like, it's such a great feeling, guys. You legitimately need to experience one of these. Now, what am I gonna do with this one? Quite honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I really want to take it as far as possible, and I'm not even gonna say keep it reliable, because that's not really a thing in this car. That's another thing about GTRs, is that you're gonna learn the quick way. You're gonna get used to you know, lip modes. You're gonna get used to the check engine light, which is great, because that means the check engine, which means the engine's there, the transmission's there, and it means it's somewhat sort of kind of working, and it's also telling you it's got issues. Not a big deal. You will get used to it. Talk about price point, right? $100,000 what I paid for this thing. Find me another car at 100 grand that can do what this car can do. No. 911 Turbo S, sure, they're 130 if you're looking at a 2014 plus that's got decently low miles, but again, no back seats. Don't even get me started. That just because it has a foam pad for a back cushion and it's a 90-degree bench, whatever you want to call it, that's not a seat. That is literally done to have better insurance pricing, I guess, whenever you try to get insurance on those cars. There's nothing at 100,000 that does what this car can do, guys, and get the same looks as they do. Sure, you can probably pick up one of those boring little M5s, or, oh god, I'm getting bashed for this, or a C63 or S63, or, you know, an Audi R7. Love my Audi R7, but quite honestly, it's just not the same as this car. The feeling this thing gives you, like, whenever everything is clanking, you're cool with it. You really are cool with it. And after that spirited drive, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to finish off the video by talking about one thing, and that is, what is my game plan with this GTR? What am I going to do with my 2017 Nissan GTR Premium Edition that's already got full bolt-ons, which is like the intake, exhaust, injectors, all that's been done. The only thing that is missing, let's do it this way, big picture, 1,500 to 1,800 wheel horsepower. Probably not by the end of this year, because that's like over $100,000 to be invested into this car. But I would love this thing to compete in like the GTR World Cup and just be in like big events. I would love to be there. I would love to meet all you guys once the channel gets bigger and I can afford to do big things like that. Smaller picture, well, in about a week and a half to 2 weeks, it goes in for Visconti full triple fuel pump system, flex fuel kit, and catless downpipe. So this thing is going to be a lot more rowdy with a lot more horsepower, just like my track edition was, but hopefully this time around is going to be a lot more reliable and a lot more fun. And then after that, we'll start upgrading the turbos, upgrading the transmission, then of course building the motor. So slowly but surely we are going to be working up for it, because I know a lot of you guys signed up to this channel because you were here for the first GTR and you want to see more action. I did do the community tab where I posted and asked what you guys want to see more of, and of course all of you guys said GTR, so I promise you will see it more on the street at at the track, everywhere, guys. We're gonna bring you a ton of content. By the way, for the true OGs, for the ones that have made it this far in the video, type or comment down below GTR, and I am going to pick one of you guys and send you $20 gift card. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking around. And if you like what you're seeing, drop a like, drop a comment, go buy yourself a GTR. You need to get one. I promise you that is the best decision you can make. Enjoy your lives, enjoy your cars, enjoy your trucks, anything and everything that you drive, and I will see you next time. Peace.